It had been a day of counting. Orbie discovered that no matter how many times you count them, you always have 10 fingers and 10 toes. Katie found out that in between the numbers on the kitchen clock, there are 5 spaces. And they both learned that each chair in the kitchen has 4 legs. Katie and Orbie were playing Space Marvel. Orbie was preparing for liftoff, and Katie pretended to press the ignition button. When she threw her hand back from the button by accident, she hit her piggy bank, and it fell with a loud crash to the floor. Mom hurried up the stairs. Orbie stayed back. The mission had to be aborted because of technical difficulties, which meant you never walk on a floor with broken glass. The game would have to be finished later. Mom was surprised. The piggy bank must have been awfully full to break. On the floor beside the dangerous pieces of glass was all kinds of money spread out everywhere. Katie started to cry. She never meant to even come near the piggy bank, let alone knock it off the shelf. Mom told her accidents happen sometimes. She lifted her out of the way and asked the 2 friends to please stay out of the glass. Orbie wondered if the money had to be thrown out because it had glass on it. And Mom told them that she had an idea. After the glass was swept up and the money put in a bowl, Mom took the 2 friends into the bathroom. There she put the plug in the sink and dropped the money in. She ran the water and it covered the money. She lay a towel out on the counter and she started to pick the money out. She lay it on the top of the towel and asked Katie and Orbie to dry it off. Orbie brought in an old shoebox to put the money in. They dried it and plunked it in. Soon the box had all the money and the sink had none. Mom rinsed the sink out to make sure no glass was left in it. In the living room, Mom told the friends that maybe today was a good day to open a bank account. Orbie wasn't too sure what a bank account was. Mom explained that when you have enough money, it's a good idea to put it in a bank. The people in the bank keep it safe. If you leave it there long enough, it makes interest, which means they give you a little bit more money for keeping your own money with them. Orbie really liked the sound of that. So Mom explained when you put it in the bank, it slowly grows to be more. Katie and Orbie looked at each other. They both really liked the idea. Katie asked if when they collected more, they could put it in the bank too. Mom told her that they could add to it any time they wanted to. Katie clapped her hands. This was fantabulous. They would head down to the bank and open up a beginner's account for Katie and Orbie right away. Mom thought that was a fine idea. With jackets and hats in hand and a shoebox full of jingling money, they headed out the door. At the bank, there were high counters and people standing around the edges. They were called tellers. There were small poles with ribbons attached to them that told you where to stand. And there were people in a line waiting to talk to the tellers. Mom, Katie, and Orbie jingled into the line. The man ahead of them asked if they had something special in the box. Katie and Orbie didn't answer, but Mom told him that they were on their way to open up a first bank account. The teller behind the counter waved at the man. It was his turn. He told Katie and Orbie that if they kept putting money into the bank, one day they would have enough to buy something special. Katie and Orbie beamed as the man walked away. Another teller waved at Katie and Orbie. They hurried over to her. She leaned over the counter and asked if she could help them. Orbie raised the box up and slid it onto the high counter. The teller told Katie and Orbie that it sounded like money, and they had certainly come to the right place if they wanted to save it. Katie told her that they were saving it for something special. The teller asked if they already had a bank account. And both Katie and Orbie shook their heads. She told them that she would start an account up for them. The first thing they would need was a passbook and an account number. Did everybody who came to the bank have a book? The teller nodded. Katie wondered how the bank kept all the books straight. The teller wrote 4 numbers on the book. She explained that everybody that used the bank had a very special number. That number told the people working at the bank that it was Katie and Orbie's account. Katie clapped her hands. That was like a secret code, and she just loved that. Next, the teller emptied the box and counted all the money. She counted quickly. She told Orbie that she had to be sure of exactly how much money they were depositing. Mom explained that deposits were the money you put in the bank. She finished counting and told them that it came to exactly $9.50. And Katie and Orbie clapped. Orbie leaned toward the teller and told her she was a very good counter. She laughed and put their money into a drawer with separate compartments. She brought a big stamp up over a piece of paper and thumped it down. Orbie wanted her to do it again, but she told him that it was only 1 stamp per deposit. Then she put the book into a little computer and it printed $9.50 onto the page. She gave the 2 friends the book and told them that she hoped to see them again soon. Katie and Orbie looked at each other. They could add to it any time they wanted to. As they walked out of the bank, the 2 friends talked about what they would buy with their money. Orbie thought maybe he would buy an elephant to go elephant riding. Katie thought maybe she would buy a ticket to an exciting place. Mom told the friends that they had a long way to go before they could afford those things. But they had begun, and once something is begun, almost anything is possible. And do you know that if you start saving your money, even little bits of it at a time, one day you will have enough money to do all kinds of wonderful things too. And I just happen to know that there are a lot of wonderful things waiting for you to do.